Hey everybody, so tomorrow's patch day and we've got a relatively big patch coming in with the new classes, Karanda and some other additions to the game. So with this in mind, following the dev stream that was on last night and ahead of the patch notes, I wanted to try something a little bit different and just cover what was on the stream for you. Now I know I've done this previously, but I thought what I'd do is also clip the stream from the PA devs, Sherna and Trent, so you can hear what they had to say about things and also my take on what to expect. So first of all, Striker and Tamer are coming to the game as of the 6th of November, and interestingly enough, they won't be coming with their awakenings. This means that the classes are at a pretty huge disadvantage when compared to other classes. Now it's interesting to see what Sherna and Trent had to say about this and the reasons behind their choice not to bring awakenings. Personally, I think it's a bit of a daft choice, but overall, this is what they're going to be doing, and they have confirmed that this is how they will be moving on with the classes in the future. So let's have a look at what Sherna and Trent had to say about this.
So, Awakening will not be coming for the new classes yet. We're going to release them without it, and then they're going to come with it. So, yes, no Awakening at launch. There are no classes that have Awakening when they are released. So, yeah, they're going to have a little bit of a delay. There's reasons for this. One is that we want you to learn the pre-Awakening combos. Two is that we want to see if it breaks the game.
Yeah.
There's a few other things as well that we can't go into, but there is a reason that we always separate them in that, you know, it saves the whole market being just purely...
There's that, but there was someone who brought it up on, I believe, on Twitter and on Reddit as well, that Lon and Ninja came with their Awakening, but that was because the Awakening update was at the same time as Lon and Ninja, so they came in together.
So yeah, it seems a little bit strange that they're not coming in with Awakening. They did touch on the fact that Lon and Ninja came with Awakening, however, covered this up by saying essentially that because it came at the Awakening patch, they shipped them with Awakenings. It doesn't really tie in with what Sherna was saying about there being potential issues with the classes, and that's why they're not releasing Awakenings. And I don't really buy the whole, it gives us a chance to learn the pre-Awakening combos before Awakening. Overall, I think it's a little bit of a daft choice, and I think the player base isn't going to be overly happy with this. However, it might be overshadowed by the fact that people have been waiting for Striker for so long that they're just happy to be playing their mains. Overall though, a little bit of a disappointment for people, and I know a lot of people will not be happy with this, but Awakenings are probably going to be 1 to 2 weeks away, and very likely with Kama Sylvia coming up, it would likely be in a week, if not 2 at a push.
Also coming with this update, Karanda, which means Dandelion weapons are in. These are the most powerful Awakening weapons you can get. They are super dupers. I don't want to say strong, but they're super duper.
Yeah.
They're boss gear. Karanda summons on Karanda Ridge. She will summon, I believe, at the same time as Khatum.
Okay, so if you haven't already been on the website, Karanda has been confirmed, and as Sherna's just said, that means that Dandy weapons are going to be in the game as of tomorrow. These are going to be the best Awakening weapon, and there isn't currently a replacement for them even on PC. Now it is worth saving up your energy for night vendor rolls and making sure you have enough money to put a pre-order on these weapons. Getting them for Karanda, as you already know from boss drops, is very unpredictable. Whereas Zarka has a 4% chance to drop if you're in the top 20 players for damage, Karanda only has a 2.4%, so it is one of the harder weapons to get. Now it is going to be with you for a long time, so definitely keep an eye on these weapons. You are going to want to pick one up as soon as you can for your class, but I wouldn't expect to see them on the marketplace very early unless people are looking to obviously raise funds to then, rather than enhancing the boss weapons, to buy them off the marketplace in future. This does now allow us to finish a full set of boss weapons, and I wouldn't be surprised to see people going for pen on things like Zarka and Dandy in the very near future, especially if they've got backups considering how cheap Zarkas are. I know that I've got 2 of my main hands for my Sork. I've also got a Nuva and a second Khatum now as well, so I'm ready for prepping for pen in future, although I do understand that for the vast majority of the player base this is something you won't be thinking about. Also, what you've just seen on the screen is the schedule, and it does indeed share the same time slot as Khatum, so I would expect that people will stop going to Khatum as much, and Karanda will be the main boss. So if you are still trying to pick up your Khatum weapon from the boss, try not to get too frustrated at the fact that people won't be there as often. In future, once we do get the latent auras, which haven't been confirmed for this patch, it will become a little bit easier to pick up weapons because you'll have a fallback where you can collect a latent auras and then turn them in. However, this isn't a quick task, it does take a long time to do, but it does give a viable alternative to just buying a base weapon.
But yeah, Karanda is coming. That'd be awesome. Dandelion weapons are also coming. Hooray. Next thing is,
Performance updates. So this is step 1 on a multi-step program to make Black Desert run better. So, okay, this is yeah, all right. We have to take it step by step because if we just push a massive performance update, if something does go wrong on live server, it's going to be very hard to track down what exactly it is. So this is the same performance update that I believe hit Xbox last week. We removed some NPCs, some objects that are not necessary. There has been some effect for OG Xbox players, so we're expecting similar effects
for the PS4 Slims.
PS4, yeah.
Right? For the Slims, hopefully they'll get a better one, but in terms of update or performance. But this is, like you said, the first of many, right? So we're going to see how this goes. Generally, when you do a performance update, you have to make sure that some of the newer content doesn't get affected by this performance update. Or some of the quests may break if you remove certain NPCs and whatnot. So we have to carefully do that. We're going to take a look at it, see how it goes, and then hopefully in the next update or next few, we can gradually make it better and better.
Okay, so over the last couple of weeks, performance has seemed to take a dip. I've noticed, at least in things like Battle Arena, the lag has been insane. The desync has got a whole lot worse. So hearing that they're actively working on these performance increases and they're not just saying that they're doing it, they have already put this on Xbox, as Shona and Trent just mentioned, and I have had feedback from players on Xbox that it has improved, at least on the OG versions of the Xbox One X not having as many issues anyway. However, I think this is a very smart approach. Removing some of the fluff from the game allows them to improve performance without dumbing down the graphics too much. Although the biggest thing that I think they could change is to get rid of the remastered lighting in game and put us back to the original lighting from BDO. This would stop some of the horrible flare, some of the night times going incredibly dark when you're in certain areas and during the sunsets, and overall I think would have a much bigger increase on performance than just removing some NPCs. It's yet to be seen how well this is going to affect the game, however it is a step in the right direction, and I fully agree with what was just said about the whole doing performance increases incrementally so that you're not breaking the game. We've had it before where they've amended certain things and they've just completely broken other aspects of the game, so by doing this at least we know that they are going to be taking it step by step, and if anything is cataclysmically broken they can reverse it relatively quickly. So performance update, can't really hurt to do that. Anything that they can do to improve the game is fantastic in my eyes, especially when it comes to the performance side of things. Having those drops in PvP is the last thing you want, and for a game that focuses around its combat, having any kind of lag or desync is always going to negatively impact the player base. Overall, a good addition to the patch notes, and I'll be interested to see if they go into more detail on the patch notes with what they've changed, or if it's just a very vague overview. Anyway, on to the next.
All right. Sure, Rabam skills are going to be in. They will not apply to Striker and Tamer because they're more with Awakening.
Yeah.
So Rabam skills will be available for the other classes, and then when Awakening comes, Rabam skills will be in. If you don't know what Rabam skills are, Trent, take it away.
You take one skill, you take another, you mix them together, make a whole new skill, and you get effects from either one, or from both of them.
You can choose the effects, yeah. So one is usually damage, one is usually CC.
Yeah.
For example, just because I have it in the patch notes, Bloody Calamity plus Shadow Eruption equals Shadow Ignition. Bloody Calamity and Rushing Crow equals Crow Nightmare. Now these do not take away your original skills. They are additional skills that do need to be added to your ring menu. They cannot be comboed into. But generally there are, it looks the same, but there's different effects.
There's two sets of Rabam skills that you can learn. Each set contains two skills. So you can learn one or the other from each set.
Yep.
Right.
So I believe it's 56 and 57 you get the two skills, but I'm not 100% sure. But you do have to have the prerequisite skills leveled up.
Yep.
If you don't have them, you won't be able to learn it.
Okay, so Rabam skills are a welcome addition to the game. They're going to round off some of the class's combos. Shona just went over the Rabams for Sork, and they're absolutely fantastic. It gives us, for the most part, a very, very strong air combo, especially when it comes to grinding in places like Histria. This is a fundamental for Sork combos, and it's the same for a lot of other classes. It also shares up some of the gaps in some classes' toolkits, so for example, giving Sork a protected frontal engage is another welcome addition to the toolkit. I find it a little bit of a kick in the teeth, again, that Striker and Tamer are just going to miss out on this until they have their awakenings. I don't feel that that was necessarily the way to go about this. However, I'm not 100% sure on if Striker or Tamer have awakened base Rabams. To my knowledge, it shouldn't be awakened based. They should be based off pre-awakened skills, hence the 56, 57 requirement and not being a higher skill requirement. Now, it is worth noting that Rabams are expensive. They are expensive skill points, and you do need the prerequisite skills to be able to have them. So definitely get grinding your skill points, at least for the next 24 hours, especially if you're running low on them and you're already struggling for those skill points. But Rabam skills being added to the game is another welcome change. I, for one, have been waiting for this. I was hoping that they just released them with Awakening, but at least we've got them now. And on the grand scheme of things, we're, 9 weeks into the game, and we've already got Awakenings, Rabams, Valencia, a hell of a lot faster than Xbox. So I'm happy with the changes, and there is still more to come in this patch.
Next up,
Imperial Delivery. Right? I don't know much about this, but Imperial Fishing, Cooking, and Alchemy have been added to the game. Shirna's going to walk us through on how to do it, right?
Yep, we're going to do some of the cooking. Okay, if you don't know what the Imperial system is, there are foods in the game which do not sell on the marketplace. There is a way where you can make money on them. You pack 20, 40, 60 of them together. You sell them to the Imperial Crafting Delivery NPCs that show up in Heidel, Olvia, somewhere else. Can't remember. Those are the only two I ever use. And you make money based on that. What this also means, it's usually a 250% increase on the value. So that is good. Fishing is also in the Imperial Fishing. Blue and yellow fish are sold at massive profits. There is one on Ovelia Dock, which is the one I always use. There is one in Portaferia. There's one at Splashing Point. There's one in Valencia, there's one in Grana, and there's one in Glish. I know those ones.
Nice.
So yellow and blue fish can be sold to those guys. With Imperial Fishing also comes hotspot fishing finally. If you don't know what hotspot fishing is, you take a boat out into the ocean. Generally, you want to go from Velia to Portaferia. That's where most of these hotspots are. They appear as seagulls in the sky. Cast your rod in there and fish them out.
Okay, so that's enough for Shirna and Trent for a minute. So Imperial Delivery, Imperial Fishing, that's Alchemy, Cooking, and Fishing. 3 of the main life skill ways of making money are now finally in the game. This is going to be essentially phase 1 of market recovery. What you're going to see is there's going to be an influx of silver to players. Now, grinding is no longer the main source of income. There are alternatives that you can make. So rather than just AFK fishing for relics, selling relics, or running them for memory fragments and selling those to make your money, you have other viable options. So I did do a video on Imperial Cooking and Imperial Alchemy, and I will be doing a video on hotspot fishing as well in future. But essentially, what you need to know is that Imperial Cooking is going to be a staple of your turn-ins or of your daily income. Go and check a video where I go over how to make at least 500 million silver a week, barely having to grind at all. Now, this might not translate from Xbox over to PS4 as well as I'd like to think. However, until it hits, I'm not 100% sure on that. The beauty of the Imperial Cooking and the Imperial Alchemy is the fact that you're not relying on the central market for your sales. You hand these in, and that gives you, like Shirna said, 250% of the sale price on these specific items. Things like boiled eggs or Grim Reaper's elixirs for alchemy are both handed in. Also, your AFK fishing now just got a whole lot more profitable, especially if you're set to only catch blue or above fish. This means that your inventory is going to be full with very profitable fish that you can jump on your mount, run up, and turn those in when you get up in the morning if you're AFK fishing overnight. Overall, these things are something that we've been clamoring to have added to the game. Having viable semi-AFK and full AFK alternatives to money making is something that we've really needed. With the recent events trashing the market in terms of selling your rare accessories that you get when you drop, this has really hurt players who don't know how to make money in this game. People that are relying on selling base gold accessories rather than understanding how to value grind spots and how to make money outside of grinding have really been struggling, and that's been shown with the abundance of things on the market that just haven't been able to be bought. People selling Tet Awakening weapons that have been sat there for days. This is going to be a thing of the past, hopefully over the coming weeks, as the overall liquidity of people's silver becomes much higher. So another great addition to the game, and one of the final things that we're going to go over in this video. As I said, I have done videos on the Imperial side of things, so definitely check them out if you're not aware of that. And if you do have any questions, drop them in the comments section. But we'll move on to the next thing.
But yeah, Arsha's coming. So Arsha servers are PvP servers where you can just kind of engage in PvP without any of the penalties. Karma doesn't drop. However, if you do PvP in the desert on an Arsha channel, you'll still get the Chaos Mark.
Yeah.
And you can still get sent to jail. You can also gain karma back on the Arsha channel, right?
Yep, that's primarily what it is used for. If
Yep.
you hold on, sorry, my brain escaped. Okay, basically you go there, and if you PvP, you don't lose anything, but you can grind back those gears. So if you're already minus 1 million karma and you regret your decision massively, you can always go to Arsha, grind back up, and enjoy the PvP without the karma loss.
Right. Any character that is above level 50 on an Arsha channel will get a plus 50% item drop increase, I think.
Something like that. Yeah.
Item drop rate will increase by that much.
But only characters that are over level 50.
Yeah, anything under level 50, no.
Yep.
Okay, so if Xbox is anything to go by in PC in general, you're going to have one Arsha server. As Trent's just said, there's an increased drop rate of 50% on the Arsha server, and it's fair game for PvP. Essentially, everybody is perma-flagged. If you're out in the desert and you kill somebody, you are going to get the mark, which means you can be sent to jail, so there is still a punishment out in the desert. And you have to be level 50 to benefit from the Arsha servers, so I wouldn't expect to see any lower than 50 people out there. The beauty of Arsha is it allows us to PvP pretty much freely. It's really contested out there for grind spots, and it's going to be interesting to see an influx in world PvP. What this will also help to do is alleviate some of the griefing and some of the grind spot disputes on the non-Arsha servers. There are going to be a lot more people able to freely grind in places like Valencia without getting picked up by anybody looking to PK. The reason being is, like they've stated, the whole karma penalty is not there. This means that PK players will tend to roam around the Arsha server either solo or in groups and just look for PvP that way. I pretty much live exclusively on the Arsha servers when I'm grinding, as I know a lot of other people will do. That's purely because of the 50% drop rate. You would be daft not to. However, it does come with that inherent risk that you will get killed, or if you can't defend your grind spot and you do kill somebody, you're going to end up in jail. With that in mind, again, here's another shameless plug. Check out my video on how to escape jail. Once you've nailed this, you can literally get out of jail and back to your grind spot using Traveler's Maps within about 3 minutes. I've shown this multiple times now to people in exile, and once you understand how to get out of jail quickly, there really isn't much of a penalty for PvP on the Arsha servers. It's a little bit of an inconvenience, but if you're out there to PvP, it's really fun and enjoyable, and the Arsha servers overall are going to be a deadly place for most people. I would fully expect to see a lot of the top PvPers and the top PvP guilds out there grinding on the Arsha servers, so if you are somebody that doesn't like to PvP, definitely sit this one out, or look at one of the less contested grind spots so that you can benefit from the drop rate. That's almost it, but there is one more thing for those of you still leveling, and that's Marni Stones.
Marni Stones are in.
Hooray!
Marni Stones allow you to get extra experience as you're going through the game, as you're grinding up. We will be looking at that with Trent in a minute, because we're going to be going to Gahas. Basically, you buy a stone, you fill it up with nothing but souls of the dead, give it to the Marni assistant, Wakitoshi. Wakitoshi, yeah, it sounds kind of cool. And then you get extra experience on top of what you're already gaining. Now, this isn't going to be massive amounts of experience, but when you get to like level 59, every little helps.
Yeah.
So that is a way to do it. There are 2 stones. There is one which is kill 250, which is the tier 1 for 60,000 silver, and then there is the tier 2, which is 110,000 for 500 kills. And once you fill them up, you take them back and give them away. And you can get your first one from the Black Spirit through a quest line that I have never done.
Cool. So we're going to go on.
Giannis fragments are in. This allows you to craft things like Ogre Ring, Sissel's Necklace. Oh, not Ogre Ring. Sorry, Ogre Ring is wrong.
Ring of Crescent, Ring of Cadre, Seraph's Necklace, Cecile's Necklace, Centaur's Belt, Basilisk Belt.
There you go. And you can melt other yellow accessories to get Yana fragments. Oh.
Yep. Ackman Hysteria instant portals are in, right?
Yep.
Instant portals, so you got to complete a quest to be able to instantly go to those places.
Yep.
Right?
So they do require 1 Black Spirit's Claw to go in, and you have to finish the quest from the Chaotic Ackman Temple, which is obtained from the Node Manager at Ackman Node, or you can get the one which for Hystria, which is in Ibelab Oasis. I hope I said that right. There are also Black Spirit Rage Locks are in.
Finally!
Right.
So you can
do it.
Yeah, so you can access that through your main menu. It'll be in the bottom right corner. We'll show you. You can lock all of your skills, or just some of them. You can choose. Hooray!
Okay, so I'm aware that this video's just hit the 20-minute mark. We're about to hit that, so I wanted to bunch those last things together. Marni Stones are essentially an item that you just run out to your grind spot with. You stock up on a whole bunch of them, and as you're out there grinding, they will gradually fill. Once you've filled one, it will automatically start to fill the next one, and then you go back, turn them in, and get a ton of experience. It does massively help with the grind. It speeds up the whole 59 to 60 and the 61 grind. If you're not waiting for Camasylvia to do the questing route, then Marni Stones are going to help you to hit 61. So that's a welcome addition. It's going to help people catching up with the leveling. And this seems like another bid to help the player base catch up to eventually the Xbox for future crossplay. It's something that they announced in one of their dev videos, so it's an interesting thing to see that that's in the game now, and I'm very happy because I'm sick of grinding 60 to 61 at the current rates. Coupled with bells being available and Marni Stones, it's going to be a really fast grind to 59 to 60 and 60 to 61, and for those that aren't currently at those levels, catching up. It's going to really help with the alts as well, and the rerolls the Striker and Tamer. Now, they also mentioned Yona Fragments. Yona Fragments being in the game, allowing us another viable option to pick up those accessories without having to mindlessly grind. Places like Basilisks or Cadres if you're looking for those accessories. What a lot of people tend to do is go out to Crescents, grind Crescents, hoping for the soiled rings so that they can then melt them down to Yona Fragments, use the Yona Fragments to craft the accessory they actually want. It's really going to help with people hitting the soft cap with those tri-gold accessories. However, with the events currently in place, they've massively trashed the marketplace for accessories, so I wouldn't be surprised to find people buying up certain accessories just to melt them for Yona Fragments. I'll have a look to see if it is profitable, and if it is, then I wouldn't expect accessories to stay on the market for very long, especially with the fine accessory box coming on day 24 of this current attendance rewards login. They also mentioned the quests that allow you to teleport to Akron in history instantly. Now, I know that a lot of people aren't really grinding these spots at the moment, but for those of us that are, this gives us a quicker route in there if you get sick of looking for portals. Now, the final thing that they mentioned was the Black Spirit Rage Locks. This is fantastic. It's really something that we've wanted and wanted and wanted on Xbox for the last God knows how long, and to get it this early on PS4 is fantastic. It allows you to get rid of those pesky 100% Black Spirit Rage skills that trigger when you don't want them to. So, for instance, Dream of Doom on Sorceress or Dragon's Bite on Musa. Being able to lock these means that you don't have to track your Black Spirit Rage anywhere near as much, and it's going to allow you to make sure that you're popping it for your common buff when you're grinding, or that you're being able to hold that rage for when you really want it in PvP, especially in group PvP. Things like Sork's Black Hole being able to be triggered when they want it to, rather than just randomly when they block and mess up in the middle of a fight. This is just something that we've really wanted, and I'm glad that it's now added to the game. Things that I cut out of this video that were included in the patch notes are things like baby elephants now being available as of patch day from Shaka 2. They're essentially another horse. You can check one of my videos. It allows you to carry a large amount of weight and run pretty fast, and people are going to be using these predominantly for trading and doing trade routes from currently around Trent right the way out to Valencia. So that's a welcome addition too. They also commented on some of the fixes they've done to Warrior, where they've combined some skills, added some skills as well, but I will leave that up to you to find out. If you are a Warrior, check the patch notes tomorrow, and it will give you a little bit more detail in that one, because I'm not overly familiar with the Warrior class, and I don't want to start talking about something I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much what we've got for the patch notes. Now, I won't be doing a patch notes video tomorrow, because I probably won't be around as much, but I wanted to cover this off in advance and give my opinions and my thoughts. If you did like the way that I did this video and you think that I should be doing this in future following dev streams, then I will continue to do so. Just leave it in the comments. And as always, if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I am back making content, as you've probably already seen with the last influx of videos, and I will be updating a lot of my guides, a lot of my information. I've got a ton of Sork PvP content that I want to release with Sork versus different classes, where I go over my mindset, what I'm thinking at any given time, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how I'm fighting. So if you're interested in my Sork content, definitely stay tuned for that one. Anyway, guys, 24 minutes and 30 seconds coming up, so we're going to cut this video here, and I will see you in the next one.